Welcome back to Evie's Acres. This is Evie, and today we're going to continue with part 2 of our video series about our animal updates. I want to just show you this new structure that I built with my son and also introduce you to the animals that are inside of it, which you can't see at the moment, but I will be sure to show you and introduce you to them. There are 4 of them by the end of this video, so stay tuned. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Tiffany at Tealstone Homestead and Amanda at Welcome Grove Homestead for providing inspiration for this build. I'll leave links to their YouTube channels in the description. I prefer to group and label the different lengths of wood using painter's tape. And in this build, the first 2 pieces are uncut 2x2 by 8 foot long untreated furring strips, which I labeled A off camera. These first cuts are 6 foot long 2x2s that are labeled B. And then next I cut 7 36-inch pieces, which I ended up using all of them, and then I added a few more based on some updates I made. I typically use untreated pine or cedar fence picket boards in my builds because they're lighter than pressure-treated wood. And since cedar is naturally weather resistant, I don't really need to do anything to it. I'm not actually using any cedar in this build, but when using untreated pine, I like to usually add a coat of paint to add some weather resistance. If you're interested in more detailed plans and video about this build and any other structures that are featured on my channel, click the link in the description to join my waiting list. The day after we assembled the entire tractor, we added this tarp to the top and used some roofing screws to secure it to the top portion. There you can see our little rabbits. We have 4 of them in there. And I also added on the back side of the tractor some leftover plastic roofing. And so that way the rabbits can have some shelter from any rain. This piece of plywood on this side is also on the other side and was not painted within the first day of placing the rabbits in there. But you'll see in a later portion of the video that we did paint that, as well as the little handle over there that you can see on the top of the structure. Here you can see that the rabbits have a little place where they can go up above the ground so that they don't have to be on the wet ground if we're having wet weather. And right now they have just their food and water bowls right there, usually in the center. So here's the feed that we give them. It's Nature Crest Ultra Premium Rabbit Feed. This was recommended to us by Amanda from Welcome Grove Homestead. We purchased our rabbits from the Welcome Grove Homestead family. So we purchased these 4 rabbits from them, and that feed is the same one that they use for their rabbits. So we decided to purchase it as well from a local feed store, a local family-run feed store. You can see they are very attentive. They're so cute. So we have 4 female rabbits. They're called does. We did not get any bucks or boy rabbits because they all share the same father. Eventually, I would like to get a buck to use to mate with these rabbits so that they can reproduce and we can just grow out more rabbits. We're mainly keeping them for their manure because it's a really good cold fertilizer that can be easily put into a garden. Here I'm just pouring their feed into a bowl before I give it to them, just to show you what it looks like, the pellets. We do not plan to eat these rabbits or their offspring. We are only using their manure to fertilize the garden, and when we have a surplus of rabbits, my son will be responsible for selling them. For their names, we decided to use a flower theme and named them Daisy, Iris, Lily, and Rose. Here's another view of the rabbit tractor that I took a couple of days later once I had a chance to go back and finish painting over some of the plywood, as you can see here, that's on the sides, and the handle that's right there in the front. I'm just going to give you a quick 360 view of everything again. You can see that the rabbits and their tractor are located in the same enclosure or fencing as the meat birds. And a funny story, one of our meat birds, one of the hens in particular, I think for the first 3 to 4 days that we had the rabbits there, she would come up to the front of their tractor and just sort of quietly chirp at them. She would just kind of talk to them. I don't know what motivated this or why, but for some reason she would just kind of, I don't know, maybe give them the rundown of the yard or something. I'm not sure. But it was just really cute. And also some of the other hens have taken to just sort of observing the rabbits and just kind of walking around them and watching them as they hop back and forth. But I just find that really adorable that the hens have really taken to these rabbits. So we also included these 2 carabiners here as a way of locking the top and protecting the rabbits from predators overnight. And when we lift up the top, you can see that we have this stick sort of lying across that platform. We use that to prop open the top whenever we need to replace the water, the food, and or check on any of our bunnies. We have many more updates to share in future videos regarding the animals, the garden, and DIY projects in and around the homestead. So be sure to share, subscribe, and click the notification button so that you know as soon as I post a new video. Thank you for watching, and until next time.